Oh, stop primping. You look fine. Oh, hi there! I'm Drac. This is Countess Carita. And welcome to Transylvania Tonight.
Thank you so much for joining me for this very special show celebrating that King of the Vampires, that egotistical man-child, my very own Dennis Drac. Tonight we're going to be featuring a film that is probably one of Drac's favorites that we've shown on Transylvania Tonight, The General, starring Buster Keaton. And throughout the film, I've cut in some segments from our shows, and some of the best ones, I hope. And you'll also get to see some skits from Drac's other show that he did back in the 80s on Channel 19 in Cleveland, Ohio. So let's get right to it. I don't want to waste any more time. Let's see some skits from our shows, and let's enjoy Buster Keaton.
Are you saying I'm stupid?
No, just gullible and immature.
Well, you know, Karita, when I was saying that you really, really loved old things, I was talking about how much you really, really love old movies. She thinks it's a joking matter. She laughs at me, she does. Look at how she scoffs. Can you believe that, Governor? Welcome to Igor Comedy Cavern. I, Igor. And of course, you know my friend. Friend, good fellow. He not feeling well. He broken. But he nice guy. Say hello, friend. You know, Igor been telling you all about his girlfriend, Egret. Oh, Egret. She's a lovely woman. In fact, if Igor going to brag a little bit, he say, Egret is total smoke show. Oh, sure. Drac here. And boy, we got a great show for you tonight. Our movie is a comedy and a ghost story. Oh, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, that's cute, Drac. You're standing off camera, talking, so we can't see you, just like you're a ghost. Seriously? I mean, seriously? Yeah, seriously. I can appear and disappear at will. So see, you never know where Drac is. Yeah. And seriously, have you guys ever done television before? Do you know how this works? Start the show.
Cuddles, didn't I give you $100 to buy a set of real jungle drums? What'd you do with the money? You went to the track? You bet my money on a horse? Which race? The third race? Which horse? Number 6 horse? Well, Cuddles, that was a 20-to-1 shot. You won $2,000. Well, since that money was actually mine, I think I'm entitled to half of that, don't you? Do you have my $1,000? Why not? You bet the money on the 5th race? Which horse? Number 2? Well, how did he do? He's still running? Oh, Cuddles. Hey, those are my cashews. Give them here. They're all gone. Oh, nuts.
You know all that stuff that Karita just said? I knew she was going to say that. In fact, I knew every word she was going to say before she ever opened up her mouth to speak. And how? Well, because I, Count Dracula, Prince of Darkness, King of the Vampires, am in possession of a high degree of psychic ability.
Drac, you knew what I was going to say because you wrote it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You did so.
Did not.
Did so.
I knew she was going to say that too. So, pay no attention to the woman behind the cape.
Coming soon to a theater near you, Drac is Mikhail Baryshnikov as Lance, and Frank is Rudolf Nureyev as Clark in Dancers. Share in the bittersweet heartache and sorrow as Lance breaks his big toe.
I don't care what the doctors say. I will pirouette again. I will. Ow!
C. Clark, born with the natural talents and abilities to make him great, but lacking the motivation and drive to fulfill his potential.
Where are you going, Clark?
Out to practice my stag leaps.
Clark, where are you really going?
All right, I'm going out for a pizza and some beer. And maybe like a lace and pie, too. What do you think of that?
Oh, Clark, you'll never be a great dancer that way.
Yeah, well, don't wait up.
Witness the struggle that nearly tears their friendship apart.
I'd like to borrow your white tights for that production of Swan Lake.
No!
I want those white tights.
No!
Give me those white tights.
No!
Well, why not? I got nothing else to wear. Oh.
Here's what the critics are saying about dancers. Not since The Deer Hunter and Platoon has the sense of male bonding and camaraderie been so strong in the American cinema. Prancing soon to a theater near you, Dancers.
Starts Friday at a theater near you.
we are very honored to have probably, doggone it, the most special guest we could have here, Veronica Carlson, who we know from all of those wonderful Hammer films. Which were they?
Dracula's Risen from the Grave.
And the one you did with Peter Cushing?
Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed.
That's right. Now tell us, you started before that. How did you break into acting?
I often wonder about that when I think about it. It was a very strange story. I was in college. I was doing an art. I was working in the arts. They had judo classes late at night, so I attended a few of those. And somebody said, "Oh, Pinewood Studios is looking for somebody who knows something about judo." So I had the gall to turn up to Pinewood Studios, dressed in my little rice sweater and my little ski pants, olive green, you know, with the things under the strap, very boring. And I walked onto the sound stage and there were all these ladies in bathing suits and bikinis with tans. And I thought, oh my, I'm in the wrong place. And I tried to edge out towards the stage door, and the producer and the director did this. And they said, "What can you do to this stunt girl?" And I said, "I can throw her over my head." So I threw her over my head, so I got a role. But then I got a lot of publicity for that film, and my photograph was seen eventually by Jimmy Carreras, simple as that, coming out of the waves, I mean, on one of the major newspapers at the time, Sunday Mirror, and he said, "I want that girl in my next Hammer movie." So I went up for an audition, got the audition, that was it.
And that was, did several films for Hammer, so it was a very good experience working at Hammer?
It was absolutely wonderful, and my goodness, they were the happiest film days that I could ever imagine. And there isn't a lady that I know, or another person I've worked with, that go and say the same thing.
That's
it was a very
beautiful to hear.
happy family of people working together.
Now, earlier we spoke briefly, and you
Yes.
said you had great respect for both of your co-stars in those films, Christopher Lee
Oh,
and
yes.
Peter Cushing.
Oh yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about Christopher Lee?
Well, I was a very small person, not knowing anything, and he was this majestic man who looked. He's 6'7" to start with, okay, so he's very.
I'll stand up straight.
So I was thoroughly intimidated. I had an anticipation that he's going to be he's going to look down on me, and he's going to. I couldn't have been more wrong. This man was the most gracious. I've got a photograph at home with his arm around me and Barbara Ewing. We were just joking together. He was approachable, totally approachable. He had a great sense of humor, and he was utterly delightful.
Because you usually think of Christopher Lee as being stoic, but those were his characters.
Those were his characters. He was a lovable man.
And Peter Cushing in Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed.
Yes.
How was he to work with?
He was a lovable man.
Yes.
It sounds unlikely in this day and age that this is so, but this is how it was. And Peter had a lovely wife, and the photograph of Helen was on every set we ever worked on, because I worked with him later in the Ghoul, and I would go on as early as I could on the set to see where he'd put the photograph of Helen. There was always a photograph of his wife there. These were the days when they were gentlemen. They were really, there was no of these, what we're hearing these stories now. It was a romantic time in my life.
And it was a very uncharacteristic scene in Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed.
Oh dear, yes.
And they had set up through the entire series since the late 1950s,
Yes.
the Dr. Frankenstein character to be a very sympathetic character. But then he did something so uncharacteristic in the scene with you when he attacked you. How did Peter feel about that, do you know?
He was horrified. We worked there. I remember Jimmy Carreras coming in. The doors banged open onto the set, and he had this paper waving in his hand, and he was saying, "We have to do this. We have to rewrite the script. There isn't enough sex in this scene. There isn't enough sex in this film." And he thrust the papers at Terry Fisher. So Terry Fisher took them and looked at them and sort of read them, and looked at Peter and looked at me, and just threw them in the air, and they all landed everywhere. So Peter and I were scrambling to see what on earth they were talking about. And we realized what they were talking about, and we couldn't understand it. So I got into a very distressed situation, and so did Peter. Roger Moore heard about it on a separate soundstage. He was a friend of mine. I'd worked with him on the same.
She knows everybody.
Yeah, he came over to comfort me. The whole thing was ridiculous.
It was just a very, I would imagine, intense scene to shoot.
It was horrible. We tried to talk about it, Peter and I. We went to dinner and we discussed it, and the more we discussed it, the worse it got. So we thought, and all Peter could say to me was, "Remember, it isn't me, darling. Remember, it isn't me."
Aww.
That's all he kept saying, and he was so near to tears, and I didn't want to think so either. But the original scene, the reason I was so upset was they wanted to strip my nightgown to expose me to my pubic bone, so I was totally naked. And that was not in, I would never have done that. Never, and it was not in any contract. No nudity, absolutely no nudity at all.
Now, something else a lot of people may not know
Right.
is that you live here in the States now.
Yes,
In South Carolina?
yes.
It's lovely. How did you end up expatriating from England to South Carolina?
Well, it's a very long story, actually. I think it's too long for this program. But we came over for a holiday once, twice, 3 times, and it was a beautiful place to be, where we lived on Hilton Head at that time. And we came back, and the weather was so beautiful, and there'd been a break-in at my home, and it changed the atmosphere of my home. I was attacked, and my daughter's life was threatened. And I somehow England lost a bit of its charm at that point. So we decided to come here and give the children a lovely life here. We taught them to swim. The first thing we did was teach them to swim. The water everywhere.
It was our game. It was America's game. So, the other thing I wanted to ask about is, I see that you do artwork now.
Yes, I've always done it.
Yeah. And you have some artwork available
Yes.
anywhere? If somebody's watching and would like to get one of your prints, how do they do that?
That's a very good question. I need to get on Facebook. I really do. I'm so backward on these things.
Are you on Facebook?
Yes, I have a person, Michael Reed, in far off state of.
Well, we want you to join our page, the official Drac fan page, right here on Facebook. Can you do that for us?
I would love to do
Oh,
that.
I would love to have you.
I would love to do that.
Yeah. And you know what? Once you do that, you have prints that maybe people would be interested in, because I know you've done beautiful pieces of Peter Cushing
Yes.
and some of the others you have behind your table here at
Yes, I
Monster Bash.
have. I've been able to donate portraits, I'm glad to say, for Ralph Bates when he was dying of he passed away of pancreatic cancer. I was able to donate a portrait of Ralph to that foundation, and when Peter passed away, so I can use it to good use. It's not just, for my own
That's
gratification.
beautiful. Thank you very much. And I will have to tell you, this is the highlight of Monster Bash for me.
Oh my goodness.
Is talking to this stunning Hammer beauty queen and having her agree to talk to us for the Monster Channel.
That is incredibly gracious.
Thank you, Veronica.
What a lovely Drac with you
Oh,
all.
would you rather Christopher Lee bite you or maybe Drac?
What? I know.
Now, Chris isn't here, so he won't mind.
I'll feel my neck.
Oh, I can't resist this. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here.
God
on your
bless you.
program. Thank you.
And now a message from the personal injury attorneys at Bat and Bat. I'm Atticus Bat.
And I'm the other bat in that legal belfry, Scout Bat.
We're the attorneys of Bat and Bat.
And we're ambulance chasers.
Are you an animal-human hybrid that has been altered in some mad scientist's tropical house of pain until you're not even sure what you are? Is the pain and suffering you're experiencing unbearable? Well, you are due compensation. What is the law? Well, as officers of the court, we can tell you. Call us.
Are you the same mad scientist who was landlord over that tropical house of pain? Well, we're not proud. We'll help you trademark those scientific discoveries of yours. There's no conflict of interest here. We'll help you set up a Chinese wall between you and those manimals to protect you. Because what is the law? Call us and we'll tell you.
We're the attorneys of Bat
can bet.
And we'll make you pay.
And pay.
And pay.
Cha-ching, Atticus.
Cha-ching, baby.
Call the personal injury attorneys at Bat and Bat, and they'll make you pay. You know, I'm at an absolute loss for what to give Mary for Valentine's Day. And I need some help. And I know just the fellow to talk to. He'll know exactly what to do. Hello? I must be going. You must be going. But, Groucho, you just picked up the phone. Drac. Why, you old bloodsucker, how have you been? Old? This could take a while. While he's feigning indignance and trying to figure out a way to work the lie that he's only 39 into the conversation, we could order a pizza. We could read War and Peace. You could wash the dog. You could wash your car. You could wax your car. You could wax your legs. Take that, Betty Grable. You can wax poetic. Have you been to Brazil? Ah, Brazil. I love the people of Brazil. They're all Brazil nuts. But you know, now that I think about it, this conversation could go on for 39 years all by itself. What do you say we help the old buzzard out? So, Drac, what's on your mind? Well, gee, Groucho, I needed some advice from a real ladies' man. And the first person you thought to call was me. Well, no, the first person I thought of was Errol Flynn, but he wasn't home. The second fellow you thought to call was me. Well, actually, then I called Rock Hudson. Everybody knows that Rock's a real ladies' man, but he wasn't home either. So it looks like I'm stuck with you. Well, there's a resounding endorsement. So what can I do for you? Well, I need to find the perfect Valentine's Day present for Mary, and I'm at a loss for what to get her. And I'm guessing, if I know you, that money is no object. Gee, if you thought the pause was long when I mentioned his age, wait to see how long it takes when I mention money. I can hear the ocean. I can hear both oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific. I can hear the Gulf of Mexico. And what do you say we put an end to this Mexican standoff right now? Well, you know, Drac, you can always do what I do. When I've spent a tender, romantic evening with a lady, I generally give her cash. Cash? That's right. But be sensible about it and remember that everything's negotiable. But isn't that wrong? Well, that all depends on the state of mind you're in. No, I mean, isn't that illegal? Well, that all depends on the state you're in. Ah, Nevada. Ah, the sweet memories I have of Nevada. Ah, to be in Nevada now that spring is there. But it's not even springtime. It may not be the season, but a season in Nevada will always put spring in your step. Well, thank you so much, Groucho. I'll talk to you later. Well, I'll look forward to it. I thought he'd never leave. I'm still here. But I'm not. Goodbye. This morning I shot an elephant in my pajamas. And you know the rest. Ah, if this bed could talk. You better not. Oh, and for all the viewers in Uganda, I was just kidding about shooting the elephant. Well, Groucho was no help. I know. I'll call the florist. Hello, florist. I'd like to know if you sell roses. You do? Wonderful. And how much would a dozen roses be? How much? Forget it. I know. Why didn't I think of this before? It'd be perfect. Hello, Garden Supply Center. I'd like to know if you sell rose seeds. You do? Wonderful. And how much are they? $9.95 for 100 seeds. That's wonderful. Do you deliver? Perfect. Hold on just a second. How do you like that? I got Mary 100 rose bushes and a new hobby, and all for only $9.95. What a bargain. Let me give you my address. Me, 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 me. What a night. What a night. What in the world has gotten into Corrida? Well, it's giving me migraines as headaches. Oh, sheesh. I don't know what to do with her. I don't know what to do about her. I'm Drac.
Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho. Oh, I'm Drac.
Did you ever have one of those nights? I'm having another one right now. So do me a favor, okay? Just stick with me and let's get this over with, because I'm Drac, and this is the Borgo Pass Report.
What the heck?
Norton?
Huh?
Ist now time to Putin.
Huh?
Ist none making, dealing.
Chess?
Playing von Haydn. Oh, ja. Ja. Oh. What happened? Moving that piece and on the borden, for game in the Haydn starting on Beecham, for Haydn mit Nord und Nord Haydn timing, Luke Leifen mit Eben, Nord, Nord.
Okay, I'll go first.
Sven and Fjord.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Sven is a Ford and it's a pickup.
Sven and Fjord. Nord and Eben and Nord.
Huh?
Sven and Fjord. Nord and Eben and Nord.
You know, Jack, I can't understand a thing you're saying.
Oh, doggone it, Frank, you're not supposed to understand. This is supposed to be like a foreign movie.
Oh, it is?
Yes, Frank. This is supposed to be our tribute to the great European film director, Ingmar Bergman.
Oh, I liked her in Casablanca. She was really good.
No, Frank. That was Ingrid Bergman. This is the director, Ingmar Bergman. You know, he directed The Magician, The Seventh Seal, Fanny and Alexander.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Fanny Hill. Oh, boy. Oh, that was a racy movie. Oh.
No, Frank, not Fanny Hill. He didn't do that one.
Huh? Oh, then did he do Little Annie Fanny? Oh, I like that one, too. That's real good. Yeah.
No, Frank, I'm afraid not. We'll see you next week, and until then, remember, fly right.
Hi there, Drac. Drac here. Good to see ya. Oh, and I'm here with my best friend, Watson. Hey, Watson, always know where the camera is. Remember what I told you? Yeah, and no, your light's good. You know, I love just about everything about these Basil Rathbone Sherlock Holmes movies, from the beginning all the way to those great curtain speeches that Basil Rathbone gives, like the one in tonight's movie, which came from Shakespeare's Richard II. And just in case you think I'm not telling you the truth about how much I like Sherlock Holmes, I'd like you to meet this guy. You know, when I got him, I knew he was going to be my best friend, constant companion, and confidant, so I named him Watson. Boy, doggone it, we got a great show for you tonight, so let's not waste any time. Let's get it started right now.
Say, Frank,
Oh, yeah, Drac?
how do you like our new jobs here as movie hosts?
Oh, they're okay, but...
But you'd rather be making movies, right?
Right.
You know, Frank, I've got an idea. Remember what all the studios told us about horror films?
Oh, yeah, that all the good horror films are being made by independent producers?
Yeah, well, doggone it, Frank. Let's go out and make our own movie.
Oh, yeah, with lots of mechanical special effects.
And beautiful actresses with long, swan-like throats.
Oh, yeah, but no torches.
Oh, no, no torches. Oh, and Frank, no stakes.
Oh, yeah, a horror picture.
And a road picture. I could see it now. The road to Transylvania.
Oh, that's great, but how are we going to finance this flick?
Now that's a problem. No, wait a minute, Frank. Let's go upstairs, and we'll ring up some of my Hollywood buddies, and we'll talk to them about it, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Looks like we're gonna break the news again. Sorry. For more on that, we're gonna go to my old woman, Carita. Old woman?
It's now illegal to smoke a cigarette in a bar in 34 states.
Wow. Man. Bob Dylan was a revolutionary visionary.
He sure was. The times they are a-changin'.
Good evening.
You startled me.
I get that a lot. My, look at you. You look so tired.
I am. I traveled a long way to get here this evening.
And you look cold and hungry.
I am.
Well, why don't you come home with me and we'll get you warm and I'll make you a nice hot dinner.
You would cook dinner for me?
Well, sure, doggone it. Why, what truly caring and sensitive guy wouldn't make dinner for a beautiful woman?
Aww.
And besides, while you're having that dinner, maybe you could think and find your path and discover your true self.
Wow. You seem to really understand me.
Well, of course.
I feel like I've known you my whole life.
Well, sure you do. That's because this is a TV Christmas movie. Oh, sure, because doggone it, you know what? Our chance encounter here, just bumping into each other, why, it's just like a TV Christmas movie. Come on, let's go to my castle.
Castle?
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, wait till you see it. Doggone it. It's a fine castle. It's a nice big one. Come on.
So, how is everything?
It's wonderful. What is this?
Peasant.
Oh, I've never had pheasant before.
No. Not pheasant. Peasant.
Is that Nouvelle cuisine?
Well, she was fairly young. And she came from good stock.
Oh. So what do you do?
I used to host horror movies on television in Cleveland, Ohio.
And what did you do before that?
I was a prince.
A prince?
Yeah. So technically, I guess I'm a king.
A king? You didn't tell me that.
Duh. Castle.
Oh, well, that's fascinating. You know, this peasant really is very good.
I'll get you the recipe. I hope you don't mind, but while you were freshening up, I took the liberty of painting your portrait.
How romantic.
You know, you were such a beautiful, young, modern woman.
that I thought I'd give you a modern art background, kind of like in the style of Jackson Pollock.
That's so sweet. Where'd you go?
I'm right here. I just wanted to remind you to leave room for dessert.
You are perfect.
And also, you are such a modern woman, I thought you'd appreciate being painted in the pop art style of Patrick Nagel.
Oh, that's so sweet. Remember the night we met?
You mean tonight? Well, yeah, I remember it just like it was tonight.
Yes, you had me at good evening.
I did?
Yes, I'm yours.
Oh. Have you seen my tapestries?
Oh, they're beautiful. This really is the best Christmas I've ever had. I came home, found my path in life, and discovered my true self.
So now what?
Now we live happily ever after.
Okay.
Are you sure it's okay to do this?
Trust me, Frank. Oh, yes, hello! Steven Spielberg, please. It's, Harrison Ford.
Oh, where?
Shh, Frank, I'm supposed to be Harrison Ford.
Oh, well, can I have your autograph, Mr. Ford?
Frank. Oh, yes, Steven! Drac. Count Dracula. Prince of Dark. Steven? You must have got disconnected. Don't tie up the phone. We'll be trying to call back.
Oh, okay.
Wendy, I'm talking to Carita. I gotta go. The old ball and chain's calling me.
In the beginning, Marconi created radio. And to it they added the cathode ray tube, which gave us light and television, and it was good. And from the light sprang Vampira, who begat Zachary, who begat Goulardi. Do I hear an amen? Amen. Who begat Houlihan and Big Chuck and Little John. Who begat the Ghoul. Who begat Elvira. Who begat the son of Ghoul. I bet those were some labor pains. And I want to say what an honor it is to be inducted along all those other names that I have just mentioned. People that I know, some of them personally, and this touches this old vampire's heart, and not with a stake. And I think, in closing, I speak for all of the horror hosts from the 1960s, 70s, 80s, when I say, we all looked a hell of a lot better when we had all our hair. Thank you.
The bad news is he's coming right behind me.
What the hell are you two guys doing in my office? And what's the matter with him?
He's channeling the dead.
He's what?
Just watch him.
All right, let me tell you something, Mulligan. I want you to start laying off my friends Frank and Drac, because if you don't, I'm going to come down and I'm going to start leaning on you. You got it?
So who was that?
It was Bogart, you fool.
Oh, yeah. We can talk to any people who are dead right now.
Well, yeah, how about let me talk to John Wayne?
Well, listen up and listen tight, Mulligan. I want you to lay off those honchos, Frank and Drac, or I'm going to come back down and there's going to be a big heap of trouble.
Yeah, well, how about Andy Rooney?
You know what bothers me?
Gotcha!
What?
Andy Rooney's not dead.
Well, doggone it.
Well, Sandra wants you two to have your own television show. You're going to have to get down there and sit in that studio and host that show, even if I've got to nail your feet to the floor.
Nail the feet to the floor?
Nail the feet to the floor.
Oh, no.
Drac, he wouldn't do that, would he?
Frank, can I borrow your steel-toed boots?
Okay.
Yeah, let's get through this to pizza time, yeah.
Pizza time.
Yeah.
Pizza time and the living is easy.
Yeah. Pizza time and the living is easy. Stuffed crust, pepperoni too. Preheat your oven. Bake it for 20 minutes. Then DiGiorno will give a pizza to you.
Only you.
One of these nights we'll add some mushrooms, but never add, oh no, anchovies too. If you put on pineapple, slap it all over your pizza. Then you know, little baby, I'll have a word with you.
baby kissed my face, lipstick on my cheek. She told me not to wash it off, it's been there for a week. She dared me to clean it, told me not to rub or scrub. Oh, my baby uses my face just like a doggy uses a shrub. It's going on a month now. That crimson stain's still there. Like my woman's hanging on, my arm going with me everywhere. My cheek is like a billboard for all the world to see. Baby's telling all those other women, stay away from me. Let's the other women know. Let them know that I'm not free. Baby's lipstick on my cheek, it marks her territory. Yeah, my baby, she uses my face, don't you see? My baby uses my face like the doggy uses strawberry. Yeah, it doesn't get no better than that, yeah.
Groucho here, the Borgo Pass news director, with an editorial comment. Well, there I was, late last night. A sea on the Bounty, Maine. A salty mist hitting my back. In nautical terms, for all of you landlubbers out there, that means I was riding along on a boat. But I don't want to mislead you. The salty mist had nothing to do with the ocean breeze. It was actually the salty language that was being shouted at me behind my back by my pirate crew as they yelled and spit at me. But I didn't let that bother me, because I was on the deck of my own ship. I cut quite a heroic swashbuckling figure there. I looked a bit like Errol Flynn or Tyrone Power, or maybe a more contemporary, more masculine version of Fabio off the cover of some romance novel. Well, now you know, in good conscience, I just can't lie to you. I wasn't standing on the deck. I was actually leaning over the railing and heaving, losing my lunch, because the Bounty, Maine was a bit choppy last night. But as I was there, leaning over the railing, losing my lunch, on the horizon I spotted a small vessel. I pulled out my telescope and looked, and yes, there was one goofy-looking figure on deck, and three that were hauntingly familiar. So I called out to my crew, because I was the pirate captain, as you can tell by my eye patch. I said, "Avast ye salty sea dogs! Pull it around starboard!" And they did. And within minutes we had overtaken that small vessel. Using ropes and grappling hooks, we secured it and rafted it off the side of my very own ship. And that's when I walked those ropes down to that ship deck, just like I was an acrobat in a circus. And I drew my sword, and I started to fight with that goofy-looking figure on that ship. I hacked and hewed, and I cut at his knees and legs, and... No, I actually didn't do any of that. I sent the pirates down to do it for me. And they used their heads. They never even had to draw their swords. All they did was give the goofball a stick of gum. He got preoccupied and sat in the corner of his ship, chewing the gum. And then they brought those three hauntingly familiars back up on deck to my ship. And I was right. I had known them all along. Why, they were the self-same Scandinavian bikini models that had bound me to my bunk months earlier, ransacking my room, taking cash, and Mother's gold-plated toothpick. Ah,
what sentimental value I had wrapped around that gold-plated toothpick. Many's the night as a small child I would watch Mother slaving away in a hot kitchen, that gold-plated toothpick hanging from one corner of her mouth, and a lucky strike from the other. Unfortunately, the cash had been spent, but the most buxom of the bikini models had the gold-plated toothpick. So I snatched it away from her, and I scolded them all. I said, "Bad, bad, bad Scandinavian bikini models. You need to be punished." And one after another they volunteered. "Yes, Captain Groucho, you're right. We must be punished. Take us into your quarters and spank us again, and then have your wicked way with us." I told you it was like Errol Flynn, and you know the title of his biography was My Wicked, Wicked Ways. So I did. I took them in my quarters, I spanked them, and I had my wicked, wicked way with them. Ah, yes. Did all that happen? Why, of course it did. It happened in a dream. You know, if Renfield can dream, well, so can I. And that's the point of this editorial comment. Let this be a lesson. Never give up on your dreams. You may just find yourself with 3 Scandinavian bikini models. I'm Groucho, and this has been my High on the 7 Seas editorial comment.
Have you ever had a bad romance?
Well, there was Mina, but that was a long time ago, and she meant nothing to me. You know, all I got out of that relationship was a bad case of heartburn, you know? And she had really bad breath, you know? She'd go into a party, everybody go, "Oh, Mina's here." "Oh, how could you tell?" "We can smell." And she had a bad case of shingle grit. Be serious.
Wait a minute. You're not like Bela Lugosi, Count Dracula. You're an imposter.
Imposter? No, I am Drac.
I already have it done.
Oh, please, let me stay, Cortland. I'll do anything.
Oh, no.
Oh, please, times are tough for bloodsuckers. I'll be a greeter like at Walmart. I'll stand at the dungeon door and I'll say, "Welcome to the witch's dungeon." Please, I need the gig.
Renfield maybe. Dracula.
No. Now that's it. You know what? I don't do flies. Fang off.
Hey, Drac, coming to you tonight from the Carpathian Front. How about that Countess Carita, huh? She reminds me of an afternoon I spent once in Guam. Hot.
Oh, Carita, my love for you is like a red, red rose. Elizabeth meant nothing to me. It was all you, Carita, all the time. Now get me a drink.
The Goulardi here, and it's going to be a good night, so cool it. Suffering sciatica, look at this. Ah, it's Carita. 80 proof Carita.
Thanks for the memories. Wolves howling in the night as bats fly out of sight. And when I see your lovely throat, it's you I want to bite. Yes, thank you so much. And that, boys, is the way it's done.
And the K-Pals.
Get one. Ask Santa for one. Put it on your Christmas list. It's not too late.
Welcome back to the show. I am Count Dracula, and across the box of dirt from me is the Frankenstein monster. Say hello, Frank.
Huh?
And tonight we have a very special guest. The director of A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Hills Have Eyes, and the new big-budget terror film, The Serpent and the Rainbow, Mr. Wes Craven.
Hi, Frank. Hi, Drac. Thanks for having me on your show.
Hey, wait a minute. What's going on here?
Why, Frank, this is Wes Craven, and he's here to do an interview with us. So tell us, Wes, what is your new movie, The Serpent and the Rainbow, about?
Oh, it's about 90 minutes.
And how long is it?
Drac, that's kind of personal, isn't it?
Hey, look, I don't know what you two monsters are talking about or trying to pull here, because I am Wes Craven, all right?
Well, of course you are.
I am?
Why, sure. I'm Drac, you're Frank, and he's Wes Craven.
Okay. Now, if you're Wes Craven, then answer me one question, all right?
Okay.
Okay, I understand that you're thinking of making a sequel to one of your films, all right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Why don't you tell me the title of that film?
Well, I guess it's a little early to let the cat out of the bag, but are you familiar with The Hills Have Eyes?
Oh, Wes, that was one of my favorites.
Well, the next movie I'm directing is The Hills Have Ears.
What?
You want to hear the theme song?
Sure.
The hills have ears, and it's kind of frightening. And my name's Wes Craven, and I'm going to direct it.
Hey, wait a second. I'm Wes Craven. I'm Wes Craven. You're not Wes Craven. I'm Wes Craven. I'm Wes Craven. I'm Wes Craven. I'm Wes Craven. I'm
Mr.
Wes
Craven, Mr. Craven, wake up.
Oh.
Wake up.
Oh, ooh. Guess I was having a nightmare. I dreamt I was in the Frank and Drac show, you know? And except I was Frank and he was me.
Then who is Drac?
Drac was Drac.
Wow.
And it was awful. And I knew that before it was over, Frank, who was me, was going to say that I, who was him, was going to direct their movie, The Road to Transylvania.
Ooh.
Great news, Wes.
That's right, Wes. Great news. Guess what? We just got off the horn from the coast, and Barry Diller at Fox has given The Road to Transylvania a great big green light. And guess what, sport? You're going to direct it.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. I didn't sign any contract to direct your movie.
Oh, no problem, because you were still asleep, though, but I was still you, so I signed it for you.
Yeah.
Well, if you two monsters think that I'm directing your movie, The Road to Transylvania, then you are the ones that are dreaming.
That's right, Wes. This is a dream.
Wake up, little director.
Wake up,
time
Wesley.
To go to school.
Wake up.
Time to go to Addison
The
Junior
school
High School.
bus is going to be
you
here
be a Collingwood
soon,
Railroader,
Wes.
don't you?
And it's Jim.
Frank and Drac.
Yes, Wes?
Thank you so much for spending this time with me and for celebrating my deadest Drac in this way. I hope you enjoyed Buster Keaton and all the skits that we got to revisit, and some maybe you've seen for the first time. I just want to tell my deadest Drac, whenever he sees this, he's off sleeping. I let him sleep in late this evening so I could get this done, a surprise video. But Drac, you don't nearly get the praise and recognition that you should, and I am so blessed to be Mrs. Drac. I love you so much, and so many people do love you too, all around the world. And I know you get a kick out of that every single time. You get to see the numbers from China and the Netherlands and all those far off places that tune into our show every single month. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in this evening to watch this birthday celebration of my deadest Drac. And Drac, I love you with all the undying eternal love that I can hold in my undead heart. Oh, Drac. Happy birthday.
Oh. And now, like Baby Bear said to Mama and Papa Bear, good night, folks. You're not going to disappear again, are you?
Mm-mm.